Caitlin Clark finally got justice last night, whilst the Sun took it to the deciding game against the Lynx. Marina Mabra got slapped receiving payback for trying to confront Caitlin 2 weeks ago.
Marina Mabry was seen visibly frustrated while screaming at herself on the court. Caitlin finally got her justice on these players who have tried to ambush her in games.
Marina is not the only one who has received karma. After DJ Carrington poked Caitlin Clark, she was seen getting flattened by another Lynx player. Players from the Sun team now getting some well-deserved payback. You see, these dirty players don't like it when others do it to them. That DJ Carrington was about to go crazy, but was held back by her teammates. Same with Marina. They're finally getting a test of their own medicine whilst Caitlin is at home watching it all unfold.
Tell me with a straight face there's no agenda against Caitlin Clark. With a straight face. They're not targeting her, right? The WNBA is going to have to figure this out. The NBA figured out in the 80s to early 90s, they got to get rid of all that physical play. That's not a good product. That's not putting butts in the seats like scoring. By the way, that was not even a flagrant foul. But in the same breath, they want to call Aaliyah Boston for every single touch foul.
As much as Mabry's aggression can sometimes be interpreted as competitive spirit, it has, on several occasions, crossed the line, leaving fans, analysts, and fellow players questioning whether she plays fair or dirty. This all reached a boiling point when Mabry found herself on the receiving end of what many saw as a brutal act of karma when she was viciously fouled by a Minnesota Lynx player during a highly anticipated matchup. A fall left Mabry clutching her face, clearly in a great deal of pain, and, perhaps more significantly, in a state of emotional turmoil. The visual of her screaming on the court, visibly shaken and unable to hide her frustration, was a stark contrast to the image she often projected, a tough, hard-nosed competitor who would stop at nothing to win. For many spectators, it was a moment of reckoning. Mabry had earned a reputation for pushing the limits of what was acceptable on the court, skirting the line between competitive edge and unsportsmanlike conduct. And now, in the eyes of those watching, she was paying the price.
You had people fighting tooth and nail the entire season, not wanting it to be this way because other people weren't getting flowers, or she was getting too much attention, or she gets a special whistle, or I'm gonna check her off the ball here just because.
What made this moment even more striking was the context. Just months earlier, Mabry had been involved in a highly publicized altercation with Caitlin Clark, another top player known for her sharp skills and poise under pressure. During that game, Mabry's aggressive behavior had come under fire, with many accusing her of deliberately attempting to throw Clark off her game with physical play that bordered on foul, while Clark maintained her composure. Throughout the altercation, it was clear to those watching that Mabry had crossed a line, and yet, at the time, it seemed that she had escaped unscathed, no real consequences, no serious repercussions. That is, until now.
All I know, when they got eliminated from the playoffs, the attendance dropped, the ratings dropped. If the WNBA is more, it is, and I get it. Why aren't people watching?
The fall she received during the game against the Minnesota Lynx was seen by many as the universe finally balancing the scales. Mabry, who had spent much of her career pushing the limits of what was acceptable on the court, was now being forced to face the repercussions of her actions. The hit she took wasn't just a physical one, it was a reminder that in basketball, as in life, your actions eventually catch up with you.
I get sad when I talk about this a little bit in that we're still not talking about basketball.
No.
We're still not allowed to be focused on for our basketball play.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just the hit itself that had such a profound effect, it was the symbolism behind it. For years, Mabry had been able to play her aggressive style of basketball without facing any serious consequences. But now, in a single moment, she was being forced to confront the reality of her actions. The foul she received wasn't just a physical blow, it was a message that her style of play had finally caught up with her. The pain she felt was as much emotional as it was physical, and it showed in her reaction.
22-year-old Caitlin Clark, who was single-handedly changed the game, brought in millions of other young fans, old fans. How about the ratings in college basketball for her? Record ratings. And now in her very short WNBA career, shattering records. Isn't that a win for everybody? Yes, Black players too, regardless of race, regardless of who they choose to sleep with. Like, what are we doing and why?
Yona Carrington, another player known for her aggressive and often controversial style of play, also found herself facing the consequences of her actions. Carrington had previously made headlines for giving Caitlin Clark a black eye during a game in what many saw as a deliberate and dirty move. The incident left a lasting mark both literally and figuratively, as it raised questions about how far players were willing to go to gain an advantage on the court.
Yes, I followed through and I hit her, so obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am.
In the game, they caught you guys laughing about it?
No, I just told you I didn't even know I hit her.
The fall on Clark wasn't just a random occurrence. It was seen by many as a calculated move by Carrington to throw one of the league's top players off her game. Clark, who had been dominating the game up until that point, was visibly shaken by the hit. The black eye she received wasn't just a physical injury, it was a symbol of how rough and aggressive play had become in the WNBA. Fans were outraged, and many called for stricter penalties for players who engaged in such behavior.
The league versus Caitlin Clark, and that is just absolutely false. It is unfair to the women that have been there building this league to this moment so that Caitlin Clark's popularity could take it to the next level.
But just like with Mabry, karma had other plans for Carrington. During another heated game, Carrington found herself on the hit was so severe that her teammates had to step in and hold her back as she prepared to retaliate. Carrington, who had always prided herself on being tough and unflinching in the face of adversity, was now the one being held back. But her teammates knew that such a move would only make things worse, and they quickly intervened to prevent the situation from escalating. To fully understand the significance of this moment, we need to go back to the incident that started it all. Carrington's infamous fall on Caitlin Clark. The game between the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever was intense from the start, with both teams fighting for every point. But things took a turn when Carrington, in what many saw as a deliberate and malicious act, poked Clark in the eye. The result was a black eye for Clark and a firestorm of controversy for Carrington.
Caitlin Clark get poked in the eye. Caitlin said in media after that, that was accidental, that was unintentional, but we saw reporters gaslighting that situation, trying to make more of it, speaking to amplifying the wrong narratives. As a result of that, Dejanay Carrington posted getting threats based off of an incident that Caitlin Clark said this was a basketball type of thing. I pushed through, we played a game, she played a good game after that. So she minimized it, tried to erase it, and tried to send a message like, y'all, there's nothing here. That was one incident.
For Carrington, this was a moment that would define her career. While she had always been known as a physical player, this incident crossed a line for many fans. The deliberate nature of the foul, combined with the visible injury it caused, made it clear that Carrington was willing to go to extreme lengths to gain an advantage. But as we've seen, karma has a way of evening the score.
What affected you and through the rest of the game? Thanks.
Yeah, obviously got me pretty good in the eye. I don't think it affected me. Honestly, I felt like I got good shots. They just didn't go down, and obviously a tough time for that to happen.
The fall Carrington received in her next game wasn't just a random act of violence. It was seen by many as payback for her previous actions. Just like Mabry, Carrington was now facing the consequences of her aggressive style of play. And just like Mabry, her reaction was one of pure rage and frustration. She had been used to being the one in control, the one who could dictate the pace of the game through her physicality. But now, she was the one being fouled, the one who had to hold back her emotions as her teammates pulled her away from the confrontation. What's fascinating about these incidents is the broader trend they reveal in the WNBA. For years, players like Mabry and Carrington had been able to get away with their aggressive style of play. While there were occasional fines or suspensions, it often felt like the league was turning a blind eye to the rough tactics being employed by some of its most physical players. But now, things seem to be changing. Players are no longer willing to sit back and accept being on the receiving end of dirty fouls. Instead, they're fighting back both literally and figuratively.
Caitlin Clark is coming. Some people think she's already arrived. I don't. I think she's going to be even better. I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal. There is no woman, no matter how great you were as a player, Cheryl Swoops, there is no woman who should negate mentioning Caitlin Clark and what Caitlin Clark is doing for the game.
One player who has been at the forefront of this shift is Caitlin Clark, while Clark has often been targeted by players like Mabry and Carrington. She has remained calm and composed, refusing to be drawn into their aggressive tactics. But even Clark, known for her poise and professionalism, has had to deal with the emotional toll of being on the receiving end of such physical play. Her decision to take a break from basketball is a testament to just how taxing the game can be both physically and mentally.
Obviously, it's annoying because there were way too many Caitlin fans in our but like, it just kudos because it's amazing to see so many people in women's basketball jerseys. It's amazing to see the excitement and the joy that comes out of that. So although I feel like our Dallas fans could have done better, I had mixed feelings, obviously, seeing all the Caitlin jerseys.
Clark had been through a grueling season, facing not only the physical demands of the game, but also the emotional challenges that come with being one of the league's top players. From the moment she stepped onto the court, Clark had a target on her back. Players like Mabry and Carrington saw her as a threat, and they weren't shy about using physicality to try to throw her off her game.
Basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened.
But through it all, Clark remained composed. She didn't retaliate or engage in the kind of dirty play that had become all too common in the league. Instead, she focused on her game, letting her skills do the talking. But even the most composed players need a break sometimes, and after a season full of highs and lows, Clark made the decision to take some time off. Instead of diving right back into the game, Clark has chose to travel around Europe, taking in the sights and sounds of a different world away from the basketball court. The physical demands of the game are one thing, but the mental toll can be just as challenging. Clark had been through a lot, from aggressive fouls to the disappointment of not receiving a unanimous Rookie of the Year vote, and she needed time to process it all.
A lot of fans, they were anticipating Caitlin Clark becoming the 6th ever unanimous Rookie of the Year. Obviously, that did not come to fruition. She was just 1 vote shy. Were you surprised at all?
I wasn't really surprised, just because anytime you have 67 people voting on something, everyone's not going to have the same opinion. And Angel Reese, of course, had a terrific season.
While Clark is off enjoying her well-deserved break, the WNBA is feeling the impact of her absence in a big way. Clark is one of the most popular players in the league, and her decision to step away has left a noticeable void. Viewership numbers have been steadily declining since she announced her break, and the league is finding it difficult to maintain the same level of interest from fans.
Caitlin Clark is coming. Some people think she's already arrived. I don't. I think she's going to be even better. I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal. There is no woman, no matter how great you were as a player, Cheryl Swoops, there is no woman who should negate mentioning Caitlin Clark and what Caitlin Clark is doing for the game.
What's more, Clark has made it clear that she has no intention of playing abroad or participating in smaller tournaments like 3-versus-3s during her break. This means that fans will have to wait until the 2025 season to see her back in action. For the WNBA, this is a significant blow, both in